So we're saying that here it must show all the elements of the question element. So let's say, for example, we have a question. This question. Okay. Many countries. Okay, I'm going to restructure that. Wow. Okay. Wow. So please, a lot of people are having issues with the internet. Okay, let's move on. The best way for countries to help one another is, hold on, is to engage, okay, is to exchange manpower, okay, manpower, okay, and manpower and skilled labor. And skilled labor. Now, this is a question, I mean, an assertion, just a statement. The best way for countries to help one another is to exchange manpower and skilled labor. So the question, the first one we go, do you agree? Do you agree? Agree? Agree or disagree? That's the first question element. Sorry. Or disagree. First question element, number one. Number two, what are the problems that may arise from this practice? Okay, that's another one. Then we have the last one. What other ways do you think international aid in other ways do you think international aid can be given? All right, so you have three questions. So using this question, your thesis should be something like reflect all three. Question element one, okay, question element one, question element two, question element two, and question element three. So in that case you have highlighted three question elements. So your question should be something like what did I do? All right, we already understood what I'm trying to say anyway. So question element three. So let's go on. Your thesis statement should be like, in this essay, I will show reasons why why I agree to these statements. That is, if you agree to this statement, statement, comma, elaborate on issues that may arise due to if, let's just say, if, let's see this in this thing. Issues that may arise if this becomes the norm, and okay, that's the second one. What other things? And suggests other forms, international, okay, that's foreign aid can take. And then you have covered your thesis statement here. Just like the way you would have said, in this essay, I will discuss the problem and give solution. So you just must add, put all this in. If it is two question elements, you just put your first comma here, we just have an and where you have an and, it becomes a full stop because it is just two question elements. But since it is three question elements, you have to make it that is it. So, okay, do you agree or disagree? What are the problems that may arise from this practice? What other ways do you think international can give? Okay, show reasons. Ms. Kefi, I don't understand what your question is. So maybe you should try to elaborate. So
I wanted to ask if you said in this essay, I will show reasons why. I said, what about if I say I will give reasons why? Is it synonymous too?
Synonymous, yes. I'll show reasons why, give reasons why, I'll explain why I think. All those things are just systematic, okay. Same thing. All right, so now your outline of body, of course, here. Now, I've said before now that in this essay, I will show reasons why I agree to this statement. Okay, that's not to correct. I will correct you and not correct this time. So now, okay, these statements come up. All right. So now here, your outline must put into consideration seriously what is being said in the question. Now, for example, this one says, do you agree or disagree? If you like, you can use two, give two reasons why you agree or disagree, and you can give one. The reason is that there is no indication of number here. You can give one, you can give two reasons. But here, there's an indication of number, which means at least you've got to give two problems that may arise from this practice. Two must be given. All right. Here also, there is an indication of number. You must give two other ways. Two, at least two. So your outline would probably have one for question 1, 2 for question 2, 2 for question 3. So pay attention, and then you develop it like that. Of course, your outline and body, it will now be paragraph 1 would be why reason or reasons why I agree. Do your Agree? All right. Then you have paragraph 2. Reason. Okay. I think somebody is trying to call our attention here. This everything is loaded. Yes. That's how we see it. Okay. Now, all right. So the second question is, what are the problems that may arise from this practice? Okay. So problems that may arise, you need 1 and 2. All right. So here reasons. Okay. Other forms of foreign aid, 1 and 2. And so paragraph 1 paragraph, this one too, 1 paragraph. Okay, 1 paragraph. So then you go to your conclusion. And that settles it. You are done with your hybrid. Now, with this, you would have been able to, you should have been able to finish up your hybrid in the best way possible. So and with this, we are done with what's it called now? Your essay task 1 and task 2. God willing, by the next class, we should be able to dive into essay task 1. And I want to, as much as possible, try to finish that up in 1 class. So essay task 1. However, before we move on to our review, I think we are still within time, despite the hiccup we had rejoining. Can we still, is it possible for us to quickly get some reactions, question on this before we go to our review? Let's quickly get reactions, questions. Raise your hand if you want us to, if you have any question, any comments. So please quickly, so that we won't waste time. Please raise your hand so that I can start taking. Okay, so let's have your contribution.
Please, can you elaborate this essay? Like, give us reasons. Like, elaborate. Can you expand the essay a bit?
Okay. All right.
Like the reasons and how we can link 2 reasons together.
Okay. For example, if you want to talk about 2 reasons, like I said the other time, first of all, I think I mentioned where talking about discuss both views. Some people would say they want to talk about 1 reason why, or 1 point for the others for side 1, then 1 point for the side 2, which is okay, as long as it fulfills the requirement of the question. And some people would want to go for two points for side 1 and 2 points for side 2. And some people would want to go for 1, 2, 2 being the one that they'd like to go for. However, let's also understand that here, this almost the same thing applies. So let's see reasons. Let's say where you have reasons why, what's it called now? Why people, the best way for countries to help one another is to exchange manpower and skilled labor. Okay, so let's see. Number 1, maybe the reason number 1 would be that, let's look at reason number 1 would be that countries, all right, do not have the same capacity for training. Okay, maybe the word the same capacity for training. Okay, let's say countries do not have the same capacity for training in particular, let's not say in particular fields. Yes, I think it has brought up my mind that way. Countries do not have the same capacity for training in particular fields. Now, what do I mean by that? We definitely know that in the area of okay, maybe not, I should not bring it definitely no, but I want to advance that engineering is mostly the exclusive preserve of the Chinese. Let's just put it that way. That China as a country has huge capacity for training in particular fields, like i.e. the field of engineering. And so once they train people, exchanging with a country that only has the capacity to train people in management, they can just exchange this manpower. That's number one. I hope you all understand that. Number two there will be to probably bring in foreign exchange. To countries. Foreign exchange. Now, for example, if Nigeria has a bilateral agreement with the US and they take their, what's it called now? There's an exchange of expertise. There is a possibility that these countries will exchange, what's it called now? Currencies. The people who have been taken down to the US will be paid in their currency, and that might, in a way, improve local economy, because this foreign exchange, foreign money, or this foreign exchange will no doubt improve local economy. All right, so those are two reasons why I might want to agree. Okay, why I might want to agree. Number two, if you want to disagree, you might say that number one, it takes away the idea of expertise. It tends to make all countries to become jack of all trades, in which case every country can do everything, which can bring about the non-dependence of countries upon each other, which can eventually lead to a crisis situation. Because one of the reasons that makes the world not to have gone to extreme chaos is because countries, to a very large extent, understand that they are not self-sufficient. They need other countries to survive. But as soon as countries begin to reach the level of self-sufficiency, they will begin to see why they don't need the other country, and so they can flout some international rules which can make the world become chaotic. That is for if you disagree. And of course, the second reason why somebody might want to disagree is a typical brain drain that is associated with such skilled migration. I hope we all understand that. Okay, so okay, so problems that may arise. Okay, sometimes here you'll find out that we have just talked about that may arise by disagreeing. That is why sometimes you have to pay attention to what you're doing and make sure that you go for the one that you'll be able to substantiate.
Tunde's hand is up. Tunde's hand.
Okay. I didn't see that, sorry. Yes, Mr. Michael, we agreed that we should do our class till today, and then we'll now go to review our class for 1 hour, review our assignment for 1 hour. We said we should do class for 1 hour, then review this. And so that's what we are doing now. We'll still go back to review our work. So don't worry. So Mr. Tunde, can we get your question, please? Mr. Tunde, I'm waiting for you. Can we have your response?
The 3 questions highlighted.
Yes, sir.
You said number 1 should be 1 point.
Can be 1 or 2 points.
Okay. The
Yes.
second one is 2 points.
Yes, sir.
Then you are saying,
Well, network. I didn't hear the last thing you said, sir.
you said the third one will be 2 points too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. My question is this. We have 250 words
Yes.
to write.
Mhm.
By the time we are writing the first one for the third question,
Mhm.
and we realize that it's more than 250,
Mhm.
can we still answer this? Can we still make it? Can we still allow the second point to go?
Now, this is it. In very extensively long or large questions like this, your what's it called now? Your the restraining factor is time. Restraining factor is time. Now, if you are going to write 2 points each, you are actually going to have to be summarizing each point. On a normal day, if, for example, you write that's why I started with the easiest one, which is opinion essay, and I expected that everybody should have done something because it will help you. Even if you don't submit, I know you will do something because I'm sure you are very serious about your project, okay? The project of migrating. So I know that if you are in this class, you may not be submitting an assignment, you are doing your work and you are taking your things seriously, more seriously than I can imagine. But I'm expecting that by now you should know, in your opinion, in a typical opinion essay, my first paragraph is about 10 sentences. Okay, let's say first paragraph is 10 sentences, second paragraph 10 sentences, because or 10 lines. Okay, 10 lines. Now let's now say that 10 lines. Now that I'm writing 2 points each, I'll have to break that into have 5 lines for one, or 4 lines for 1 point in that same paragraph. 4 lines for one. And the reason is that it's still the same 40 minutes. The same 40 minutes they will give you if you are writing 2 points. The same 40 minutes they will give you if you are writing 5 points. The same they will give you if you are writing 6 points or 6 outline. Let's say the point. You know what? I believe you know what I mean. So it boils down to the fact that you have to break it down. So here, example is not, don't even bring example because you have so many things to write. Just explain, bring the first point, use two very complex sentences to explain it. That is why we taught ourselves how to write compound complex sentence from the beginning. Although the man is, we taught ourselves that because we want to be able to bring in as many points into one sentence as possible. So you have 2 points. After the points, two sentences to explain that. You have 3 points, or let's say 1 small simple sentence and 2 mega sentences to explain that. You are done. Then you go to the next point. You bring it in with moreover, because you are explaining an extra point. Moreover, then you just bring in the second point. That means moreover, you state the second point. Then you use 2 other or 3 other long or mega sentences to explain it. You are done. And you recap that. They say these are some of the problems that may arise. You recapitulate that particular. These are some of the problems that may arise from if this was practiced. Then you go to the next one. You do the same thing. The time is a restraining factor. However, in terms of number caption, let me say this: that the question is usually write at least 250 words, at least 150 words. It did not say exactly 150 words, nor did it say exactly 250 words. The question is always instruction usually write at least 250 words. And writing at least 250 words means that you can write more. And some school of thought say that we should just write, maybe if you extend up to 300 at most, you are fine. That is why practice, you should practice all the time. Practice from time to time so that you know your limit and you know your breaking point. You know your breaking point, you know how far you can go when it comes to writing and writing to the point. You know that once you have been able to get that done, then you don't have any problem. And that is the reason why it is very, very important that each and every one of us do a lot of practice. Do a lot of practice so that you would know your point, the extent to which you can go, and you'll be able to tell, okay, once you are going beyond the limit. So it is very, very important for all of us to be able to write to time. So in the case where you have more to write, summary or going straight to the point becomes the most paramount skill that you need to use in that case. I hope you understand me, Mr. Tunde. Okay, while he's responding, I hope he responds and we can get any other feedback from him. While he's trying to get us that feedback, let's continue. Problems that may arise. We have, okay, in the first sentence, in the first point that
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'm still talking about the last question.
Okay.
Assuming.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Listen.
Assuming we are able to make the first one 2 points.
Yeah.
The second one 2 points, and unavoidably we were unable to make the third one 2 points.
Okay.
Are we going to be penalized?
Now, English is English. You are going to be penalized because they said what other forms of foreign aids you will be penalized under task achievement. I don't want to give you the option of not having to obey the pluralization or singularization of items in your question. You don't have that choice. Once it says plural, please handle your plural. Now, this is the way forward. I hope you're listening to me now. The way forward is that in the situation where you are pressed of time, in the event that you are pressed of time, listen to me very carefully. You can introduce your second point, but don't have to elaborate on it so that you quickly go to your conclusion. In the case where you are pressed of time, quickly elaborate. Just okay, you have written the first point of the third question element, and you are now on the fourth minute to go, and you are done. Just write the second point. Moreover, it also brings about this and this. One sentence. Leave a line. In conclusion, this essay have been able to elaborate on this, full stop, and go and submit. Just bring in your point, but you don't have to explain it. I hope you understand.
Yes.
So that is it.
I can get you.
So I hope everybody understands what I'm saying, because IELTS they would rather penalize you. They would rather penalize you for not bringing the second point under task achievement than wanting to penalize you under maybe points development, which is still under task achievement. Which one would you think that you would have been, because task achievement is fully developing a point and also fulfilling the requirements of the question. So if you fulfill the requirement of the question and you brought in 2 points, if they want to penalize you, let's say by giving you a minus, let's say there's no minus marking. Let's just say that they want to minus 5 points because you did not bring in the second point of the last question element. But you have brought in the question point, the point of the last question element, but you did not expand. Then they probably just reduce it to -2 or -2.5. But to a large extent, you would have finished and fulfilled the question element, the task achievements. And that is my advice for you. Even in this situation, please listen to me to this. Even in the situation when you are pressed of time and you are, what's it called now? You have not been able to write your conclusion in your 2 minutes to the end. Just jump. You are done. You are sure you are done with the body of the essay. In conclusion, you just recapitulate what you have in your introduction and what do you have in our thesis. You just say, this essay has been able to show reasons why I agree with the statement above, elaborated on the issues that may arise if this was practiced, and suggested from other forms of foreign aid. Full stop, and that's all. You have concluded, and there's nobody who will take that up against you. I hope you understand. Okay. So is that Mr. Tunde? What did you say?
I said it's quite interesting. We understood very well.
Good. Now, moving on, problem that may arise, you may have maybe number one, wars, because I have actually elaborated on my first point to the disagree part, to the point where, so if I did not talk about, if I agreed, now I can begin to talk about the disadvantages as my problem, the problems that may arise. So wars can arise, then brain drain can arise. But if I talked about, what's it called now? We've talked about the fact that the disagreements, which means that companies, countries will begin to be self-sufficient and may not want to depend on the others. That's a problem. That's the disagreement. But that disagreement where countries begin to rely on one another, they don't rely on one another, would eventually lead to war. So that's number one problem. And number two, which means that there might be what's it called now? Infrastructural and intellectual, infrastructural, there might be decline. Let's just say there might be decline in infrastructure. There might be local decline. Let's just say local decline in infrastructure and intellectual abilities. I think we can also talk about, maybe let's put a slash here. If you have wars here, there might be increase in crime, because increase in crime. Okay, there might also be cultural, should we say declination? When somebody goes, when you have massive introduction, okay, thank you very much. Massive introduction of foreigners in a particular place, then the local culture might face a decline. So there are a lot of problems that can arise actually. So from that now, other forms of foreign aid, we can have, financial foreign aid. We can also have, what other financial foreign aid? What else? I think that might be the only place where I might not have so much. I've not have so much to say, but the foreign aid in terms of money and what else again? Maybe technical support. Technical support. Let's just leave it at that. So, so we have just 3 minutes to go. So let's quickly use that 3 minutes to get reactions from this, because by the time we are rejoining this class, we are going to review the things that have been done. Okay, so let's quickly get reactions. Please react. Let's get our reactions. Let's get our questions quickly in the next 3, less 2 minutes. Quickly, anybody?
So to start, it's still one problem that could arise. Is there any other way one can introduce the problems?
Okay, yes. Moreover, I've said before that in introducing your second point in a paragraph, use your additional, the question device that brings in additional points. Moreover, in addition.
No, for problems, so to introduce the problem. No, we're talking about, we know initially the first one was talking about the reasons why why you agree with foreign exchange.
Okay.
Now we are moving to problems. It's a new thing.
You just basically say the problems or the issues or the negative negative feedback that might arise from this, the negative aspect of this. Okay. You just introduce it using the negative that may arise from these are firstly that, then you talk about it, you explain again, or also, or moreover, or at the same time, similarly, this can also happen. Then you finish up and say so. You the same thing if you want to introduce a third point, you say other, the alternative. You don't want to use other forms now. The alternative form of foreign exchange that countries can give to one another is. Then you introduce your point. Then, moreover, or at the same time, similarly, furthermore, this can also be done. So then yeah, that's it. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Any other thing? We have 10 seconds actually. Okay, so let's just end here. So if you have any question, please let me know and talk about it. Surprisingly, the 40 minutes we've not been yanked off, but let's not wait till then. Okay, maybe we should